Good morning everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the NGS headline because there is a ton of new things that I'm very excited and I really want to tell you guys. But as usual, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to show you is the new AC Scratch bonus because it is adorable. We finally get this motion item, which I think a lot of you guys will appreciate. So here it is. And it is the motion move Wild. As you can see, you can now dash on all fours. However, keep in mind this is an AC Scratch count bonus prize, which means you do need to scratch a specific amount in order to get this motion item, but it is so dumb that it's just too good to pass up. I had to bring that up. But that's not what you're here for. You want to know what content are we actually getting in this new update. Well, I'm happy to announce on February 9th, we will be getting the new high rank Mount Magnus, where all the mobs are going to be level 35. They're going to be enhanced enemies which drop more Meseta, and there will be this new monster called the Megalotix. And this specific monster drops a lot of additional upgrade materials and a lot more Meseta. So when we kill a normal monster, we get around 12 to 15 Meseta. However, this monster in particular drops like 110 to like 150 Meseta. Sure, it might not seem a lot in the grand scheme of things. However, keep in mind when you've got a lot of boosts happening and stacked on top of each other, that money adds up quick. And depending on the density on how often we get to see these monsters, if you get to see these quite often, well then that adds up to quite a bit of Meseta. Now you may have noticed that I said upgrade materials, and this is because we can now enhance our weapons and armors to plus 50. Now, just enhancing the armor by itself is like, sure, no big deal, just increases your damage, increases your defense, but every 10 levels then, this is the important thing, is we get an additional augment slot for all of our armors and all of our weapons. So that means that we get 5 augment slots in total per piece, which is very, very powerful. So take my Relik katana over here as an example. You can see I have an Addy capsule, Giga Smite 3, Dust Soul 3, as well as Alt Secretor 3. So in total, I get a total of 20 HP, but I get a ton of weapon potency, which is basically damage. So being able to add an additional augment, so for example, if I want to put a Might 3, that'll give me another 2% weapon potency, which will give me even more damage. Or if I want to go more tanky or more utility, I can use an Ale Domino or a Veteran's Resolve 3 in order to just boost my overall stats. However, in order to enhance our gear to plus 50, we are going to need these new materials called Arms Enhancers. So in order to get these Arms Enhancers, we are going to need to farm the rank 3 zones in Alio. So that will be Mount Magnus, Vanford Laboratories, or Rezel Forest. However, each of these zones will be released week after week. So for example, on February 9, we will get rank 3 Mount Magnus. However, if you want to farm at Vanford Laboratories, you are going to need to wait until February 16, and that is when we get high rank Vanford Laboratories. And on February 22nd is when we will get high rank Rezel Forest. Now keep in mind the mobs in each of these high rank areas are all going to be level 35. So why are all these mobs level 35? And this is because we have the level cap increase to level 40. This also kicks in on February 9th. So we have a lot to look forward to on February 9th, but that is not all. Our urgent quests are also getting rank 2 versions of the urgent quest in Alio. So all of the urgent quests, mining based defense, the big bad dragon, the big bad doll, all 3 of them are getting rank 2 variants where the mobs are going to be higher level, and they also drop enhancement materials so that you can use that to get your armors and weapons to plus 50, but they also drop photon scales because when you start upgrading your armors above plus 40, you will need photon scales, and just getting the 5 photon scales every day in Retem is not going to cut it. You're going to need to run a bunch of Alio urgent quests in order to get additional photon scales so that you can upgrade all of your gear to plus 50. Next up is rank 2 purple Battledias in the Alio region, and this is really, really important. You know that Fairy Dash motion item that a lot of people paid big money for? Well, we can get this for free by farming the rank 2 purple Battledia. So I highly recommend, if you guys are level 40 and you're up for the challenge, keep in mind that Gigantics levels are all getting boosted up to level 44, so it is going to be a challenge. These guys are no pushover because, well, they're 4 levels above your current max level, So yeah, keep that in mind. While I'm on the topic of all Gigantics being level 44, this applies to all Gigantics now. So that includes all of the Gigantics in Alio as well as Retem are all gonna be boosted to level 44. So we can't go back to Alio region and bully all those level 25 Gigantics anymore because they are getting powered up and they're all gonna be level 44 after February 9th. However, with great power comes great loot. So since all of the Gigantics have been boosted to level 44, they drop level 3 capsules a lot more often. So if you need those Giga Smite 3s, if you need your Gigas whatever 3s, now they will drop a lot more often since they're level 44. All of their loot tables have been upgraded. Now they didn't go into details about like what rare items they can drop, but I would not be surprised if we suddenly get a Giga Smite level 4, for example. I would not be surprised at all, so fully expect that to happen. Alright, now to talk about the new features, and there are a lot of new features. First of all is, of course, the new Mission Pass Season 5, same old, same old. We're gonna get the 3-day shop pass at tier 24, and we get a free mag skin. It looks like a red fireball. However, you can color change the mag and make the red fireball look into different colors to whatever color you want. Second new feature is the mag Jukebox, where we can play our own music on it. It looks pretty awesome, and we get a free music disc just by logging in. So for the players who have not played base PSO2, don't worry, you will get a couple songs to pick from, but unfortunately, of course, you won't have the classics like Rare Drop Koi Koi, as well as like the Persona music and some other collab items and other music CDs. You might not have that. Well, you probably won't have that. However, if you are a base PSO2 player from, a year ago, 2 years ago, well, you can play all of the music that you have registered will carry over to your mag Jukebox, and you can immediately just play all the songs that you already have. The next new feature is the new party bonus. We get a 10% try boost if you are partied up in a full party of 4 players. So this is a huge incentive because remember, this is a try boost. So that's 10% more EXP, 10% more Meseta, and 10% more rare drop rate simply by playing together in a party. I don't know why this took them like 8 months to implement, but I'm happy it's finally here. Next up is the Arks ID. I've talked about this before. It's literally just like a name card, and later on this will carry over to your player market, which I talked about in yesterday's video. So if you want to know more about that, you can watch yesterday's video. Next up, they added the NEX rare drop rate plus 25%, which you can purchase with AC or SG recycle badges. And this is huge because these are the EX versions. For those who don't know what the difference between an N rare drop rate versus an NEX rare drop rate is, the EX versions stack on top of everything else. All right, they're called extra drop rates or extra EXP, extra Meseta, and they stack on top of all of your buffs. So these are very, very powerful things to have, and it's really nice that you can purchase them with SG recycle badges. So even free-to-play players have access to this. Since you get 1 free SG scratch every day anyway, you can turn those into recycle badges and eventually purchase one of these if you plan to farm really hardcore. Next up is, of course, NVIDIA DLSS is finally coming to the PC. So this is really, really nice. So for anyone who has an NVIDIA card that is a 20 series or 30 series and above, you guys will automatically benefit from DLSS. The TLDR of DLSS is it basically gives you better frame rates, all right? So maybe you're dipping between 50 to 60 frame rates. If you have DLSS turned on, you're gonna get consistent 60 to 70 FPS, which is really, really nice. Now for my console players, don't worry, the AMD FSR 1.0 is also supported. I have no idea what that is, but I'm assuming it's probably the same thing as DLSS, but for Xbox or for AMD. And so basically just expect better frame rates. That's the TLDR there. But if you're like me and you're playing on a toaster, unfortunately my toaster does not support DLSS because I am still using the 10 series cards, which is like 5-year-old technology. So unfortunately I cannot benefit from this FPS boost. I will need to shell out the money in order to benefit from this. And everything I just said comes out on February 9th, which is a huge deal because that is really, really awesome. Oh, I also forgot to mention, of course, we're getting concerts. So concerts, we are also confirmed that we are getting the concert buff. So it is a 10% try boost again. So that is rare drop rate, Meseta earned, as well as EXP. And it lasts for 2 hours. And it has been confirmed that right after the concert will be an urgent quest. So you basically want to attend all the concerts, alright? So for my new players out there, which are not at Retem yet, don't worry, you can still benefit from the concert buff because the giant TV in Central City will live stream the concert when it happens, and as long as you're in Central City when it happens, you will get the try boost buff. But keep in mind, you do need to stay until the concert ends, alright? You don't need to enter the city when the concert begins, but you have to be in the city when the concert concludes in order to gain the concert try boost buff, okay? So now a lot of you guys are asking, Kero, you didn't even talk about the urgent quest. Where is the Dark Falls urgent quest? Well, unfortunately for you, it comes out on my birthday, which is February 16. So on February 16, we are getting several things. First of all, we are getting the Dark Falls urgent quest. It is an 8-man urgent quest. There are a ton of titles tied to it. And on top of that, we are getting a new weapon series called the Cinquiem weapon series. So these weapons are going to be on par with the Relik weapons. They are a 5-star weapon series. And the TLDR for the weapon passive is it gets stronger the more augments you have. Now for those who actually care about what the heck the passive actually does, the level 1 potential is potency plus 18%, increased rest assign HP recovery, and reduced PP consumption by 1% of the number of different weapon and unit augments up to 15%. So TLDR, you have a ton of augments on your weapons and armors. If you have more than 15 of them, well then you're gonna benefit from 15% less PP consumption and 15% more HP recovery whenever you use a rest assign. So this is really powerful. Mainly the PP consumption minus 15% I think is very good. However, this begs the question of, are Relik weapons still best in slot, or are these new weapons gonna be better than the Relik weapons? And in my personal opinion is, if you have a Relik weapon, stick with it. You're fine, you don't need this new weapon. But if you don't have a Relik weapon, then go for these weapons, because these weapons are going to be a lot easier to get, they're going to be a lot cheaper, and according to Hero, they drop very often. So you're just going to get one of these weapons, you're going to throw 5 augments on it, you've got your armors, you're going to throw 5 augments on each of your armors, and boom, you have 20 augments. You only need 15 augments to max out the potential, but boom, you've got reduced PP consumption by 15% right there, easy peasy. Now Hero did say that these weapons will have higher potency than the Relik weapons at max level. However, the Relik weapons have very unique potentials, which make the Relik weapons and this new weapon pretty much equal. That is the TLDR, that is the takeaway. However, what is more important is of course the new augments. There is this new Irati Soul 1. So I'm assuming that the souls are going to go up to 3 as usual. So the level 1 soul gives you plus 10 HP, plus 4 PP, and potency plus 1.25%. So I can only imagine that the level 3 soul is going to give you like 30 HP, 10 PP, and like, you know, 2.5% weapon potency. That would be freaking awesome, and it would clearly beat all the other souls we currently have available, because it gives HP and it gives PP and it gives potency, which is basically what everyone wants. So yeah, I think the soul market might crash pretty soon, especially when these come out. However, keep in mind this does come out on February 16. You've still got like what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something along those lines. But definitely keep your eye out on this, because when these come out, these are going to be the new best in slot. Another thing also coming out on February 16th is the AC Scratch Smart Military, and their bonus prize is I'm Flying Motion Dash, which we're going to see right now because it is adorable. Okay, I don't care about the glide. Here it is. I'm flying. This is literally the Klee run, the Chi-Chi run, the freaking T-pose run. It is freaking adorable, and I can't wait to get it. Well, I can't get it, unfortunately, since I'm free to play. But maybe if I win the contest, I might get the AC in order to get this motion item. Now, on top of all of this, of course, we are getting the new SG Scratch. Now, they did specify that the count and stage bonuses will be reset. So remember the stage bonus where we get 1.5 times additional chance of getting the featured items? That will reset back to level 0, and we're going to need to scratch again in order to get it back to stage 4 or stage 5. However, as you can see here, it is pretty much what I predicted. Of course, we're getting Nadara's concert outfit, and of course we're going to be getting Mosan as well as Jalil, as well as all of their instruments and like their emotes playing the different instruments, which is very, very nice. Now, other than this, we will be getting the high rank Vanford Laboratories, which again will be level 35 enemies. So as I said earlier, we will get a new combat region every single week. So on February 9th, it is going to be Mount Magnus. February 16th is going to be Vanford Laboratories, and on February 22nd will be Wrestle Forest. Now, one more thing they wanted to remind us on February 22nd is there will be a new Relentless Training, because the current Relentless Training does expire on February 22nd. So you do want to make sure that you do complete all of the Relentless Training before the 22nd, because once the 22nd rolls by, all of the ones that are incomplete will be gone. You cannot complete them anymore because a new season of Relentless Training will roll in. Now, the last thing they talked about is the new revival scratches. They're coming on March 3rd, so that's literally like a month away. But basically, we are getting some love for cast parts. The revival scratch will have cast 1 and cast 2. So depending whether you're playing a male cast or a female cast, you can specifically scratch for those parts. I'm glad that they're bringing this back because, you know, cast players have been kind of cucked recently. So yeah, but you do have to wait till March. So that is still quite a ways away. Another thing they're also bringing back is going to be an accessory revival scratch, but again, these are all going to be base PSO2 accessories. They're just like rehashing them or making them look nicer into NGS. So I personally prefer NGS designed outfits and weapon camos and stuff, because personally I think they look a lot nicer than the revival fashion. The revival stuff still looks a little bit old to me. It doesn't look as detailed and high fidelity compared to outfits that are specifically made for NGS. That's just my 2 cents though. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But anyway, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the